Welcome back to ASEAN in Focus. In December last year, Transparency International reported that the Philippines improved its score and ranking in its Corruption Perception Index 2013, which ranked 177 countries from highly corrupt to very clean. Now, the Philippines ranked 94th last year with a score of 36, up from last year's 105th with a score of 34. Now, the index scores countries from 0, highly corrupt, to 100, very clean. Last year, the Philippines jumped by 24 places from 129th in 2011. Among members of the ASEAN, the country was behind Singapore, which is 5th, Brunei 38th, and then Malaysia 53rd, but ahead of Thailand, which is 102nd, Indonesia 114th, Vietnam 116th, Laos 140th, Myanmar 157th, and Cambodia 160th. The report showed that no country garnered a perfect score. The highest this year was 91, and two-thirds of countries scored below 50. The organization noted that the results this year indicate a serious worldwide corruption problem. Will corruption issues affect ASEAN integration? What are the other things we have to prepare for the Filipino civil servants, the ASEAN integration next year? And to answer those questions, we have here again live in the studio, Director of Civil Service Commission's Public Assistance and Information Office, Director Liza Agamata. Welcome to the program again, ma'am.
Thanks so much.
And so, ma'am, we're talking about corruption. No, it's also one of the issues that the ASEAN is looking into. Tell us, ma'am, how do you plan to tackle corruption with us in the Civil Service Commission?
Well, the Civil Service Commission, may I repeat, is the central HR agency of the entire Philippine bureaucracy. So we have a very huge role to perform in combating corruption, at least at the administrative level. We have a very strong mechanism in fighting administrative corruption. Of all the more than 2,000 agencies in the entire Philippine government, all of this, I would say 99%, if not 100%, have frontline services. And it is at the front lines where administrative corruption is committed. So what have we done about this? The CSC, as the prime mover of the Anti-Red Tape Act, or RA 9485, has conducted in the past years, and we are on the 4th year now in implementing the report card survey. What is the report card survey? It is a very systematic approach in auditing the quality of frontline services given by all agencies of government. And for this year, we have done more than 1,000 audits all over the country in the top 9 agencies that are very heavy in frontline services. And so, since they are very heavy in frontline services, we receive complaints, on the quality of services. But the good thing is that they have garnered 95% in satisfaction rating given by the public. What does this mean? The Civil Service Commission has given them a service delivery excellence program, orientation, and hand-holding to make sure that their deficiencies are, or the gaps, are addressed.
Yes, ma'am. When we talk about corruption, it is very important for us to go back to basic, to the simplest form. And I've seen your video on the anti-fixer campaign.
Yes, very true.
Can you please tell us more about this, ma'am?
Yeah, part of the ARTA, or the Anti-Red Tape Act, as mandated by law, is to fight fixing. So how do we fight fixing? By educating the public and the frontliners themselves that criminal liability and administrative liability are things that they have to contend with if they engage in fixing. In fact, the CSC has, I would say, charged and found guilty, I would say, a number of fixers, government workers involved in fixing. And we are very much ready to make the public know who these people are. And it will give the strong message that we are preparing for ASEAN integration, and so therefore we have to maintain the momentum of the gains that we have already achieved, as mentioned in the report a while back. In the ease of doing business in the Philippines, we have achieved several notches ahead already, but we wish to be up there in terms of cleanliness in governance and anti-corruption. The DILG and the Civil Service Commission, together with the Office of the Ombudsman, are working towards this. And I would also like to commend the National Competitiveness Council in doing its best to lead not just the government but the private sector as far as making the business environment better for ASEAN integration.
And basing it from the article we have read a while ago, it's pretty obvious that we are doing good in this sense, ma'am.
Yeah, very much. In fact, meetings and dialogues and workshops and conferences are being done continuously. In fact, 24 hours, I would say, because we are in very close contact with the civil service, civil society organizations. We have the Bantay PH, we have the Coalition Against Corruption, even the Makati Business Club, and the different chambers of commerce are working with the CSC. Well, very recently, we have launched the Wasak campaign, Walang Asenso sa Kotong, spearheaded by Senator Bam Aquino himself. And we have the contact center ng Bayan. It's a facility put up not just by the Civil Service Commission initially, but by different government agencies. I would like to credit the ICT Office of DOST for helping the CSC launch the pilot, and now the CSC has a facility, the contact center ng Bayan, that addresses administrative corruption. We gather feedback from the public, I would say 24/7. We have the email mode, the SMS mode, and the call 16565 mode. And we have a sophisticated software that tracks all complaints, even requests for services or assistance from the public anywhere in the country. We are able to address their concerns.
Okay.
All right, ma'am, earlier you were telling us you were able to you were giving us some examples on how you were able to tackle corruption in the different agencies. Can you cite some examples?
Yeah, one very good example is the National Statistics Office.
Okay.
There was a texter who said that there was some overcharging being done at NSO Caloocan, and this was lodged in the contact center ng Bayan. And immediately we called the attention of the head of PSA NSO, and she immediately took action by closing down, but first doing a validation, and yes, she found out that the report was true, and so she closed down the office, the satellite office, changed the people, changed the procedures, and then reopened it with better systems, better standards, and close monitoring of the performance of the frontliners. And we received the feedback from the public that they're very happy with the services of NSO. So we would like to commend the leadership of NSO for taking positive action on feedback received by the contact center ng Bayan.
Okay. And the DFA, you also mentioned something about that.
Well, we received the text saying that there were some fixers around DFA. So we wrote the secretary, and action was taken, and entrapment operations were done, and that's it. And again, NBI, we received a text message again from a concerned client, and NBI did an entrapment, and they did find the fixers around NBI, and they have been charged criminally, and the court proceedings are ongoing. So what does this now? What is the meaning of this? This means that we in government are very ready to public feedback and reports, and that the public is very cooperative in entrusting the mechanisms set by the Civil Service Commission.
When you say feedback, where do the people get to report these incidents of you know,
Well, right
they wanna
there,
start
right
fixing?
there,
Okay.
right there, because we have posters, we have leaflets, and our regional and field offices conduct the orientation and encourage the public to make sure that they make known their complaints, if any, and we also accept commendations.
Okay.
Yes, and we have a number of commendations from the public.
Ma'am, it looks like that we are really doing very good in terms of combating corruption in different government agencies. But forgive me for asking this,
Yes.
ma'am. How about those in the, let's say, well, they are also civil servants. So what about the politicians who are, we know, hounding some allegations of corruption, are really hounding most of them? What's your take on that, ma'am?
Well, the structure is that the Civil Service Commission takes care of a certain level of employees of government, the first level and the second level, and partly the third level. There are technical definitions for that, but I'll not anymore define those. But elective officials, if that is the concern, there's the Office of the Ombudsman, okay? And for presidential appointees, there's the Office of the President.
So
yes.
the Civil Service Commission cannot do it.
But I would say that we are being a role model, and in fact, we can proudly say that we have been declared as one of those agencies, if not the best agency, in showcasing good governance, because we have received, as I've said, four Trailblazer Award under the Performance Governance System given by the Institute for Solidarity in Asia.
Okay.
Yes.
So, ma'am, so you're saying we are indeed
Ready. In the context of feedback for better services, better governance, and the most important thing is that better trust rating from the Juanas and Juan of our country.
And it's really very important for us to be at par with other countries of the ASEAN region.
Yes. In
Okay.
fact.
All right.
Okay, having explored all of these issues, do you think the Philippines is ready for integration? And you said yes, we are indeed ready. And thank you very much, Dr. Lisa. Thank you again for having for being on the show, for gracing the show.